morning, everybody. Crafting Journey here. That Journey chick on Instagram. Oh, I'm tired. Wednesdays is always such a hectic day with work and then the Craft With Me Wednesday show. And then, um, Crashly and I had decided yesterday we wanted to follow a new television series. We would watch one episode a night. So I looked up this one and what was it called? Jupiter's Legacy, I think it was called. Anyway, oh, it was so bad. It was really bad. So I apologize if any of you watched it because of my recommendation. It really wasn't. It was more of a suggestion than a recommendation because I do not recommend that show. It stars Josh Duhamel, and it just wasn't working for me, And then so I texted Crochet. I'm like, yeah, no, this is not. I don't like this show. She's like, yeah, no, me neither. Boring. So we've got to find another show. If you have any suggestions for a series that we can watch, new, old, something we can binge watch together, So let me know because I know Shadow and Bone is out there, but my sister and I are reading the books first, and then we're going to watch the series. So let's do some diamond painting. Do, 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 do. Okay, what's happening in the crochet world today? The crochet world, I'm still working on my hooded scarf. Like I said, last night was so busy, because then there's a Marissa's live. I always want to stop in and say hello to her, and then Tia's live, and I like to stop in and say hello to her. So it's a busy night. And then look, I did some diamond painting. I don't know if you can see. Hold on, let me move it. Do. This section's almost done. So this row is pretty much done, and I have started. You still can't see. Started this section here. This is part of the tree. So we're moving up to the tree or down the tree. Where's this magnet? Where's the magnet? Where did it go? Oh, it's way over here. Oh my goodness. What did I just drop? No, everything. My gosh. Oh, it's going to be one of those days, is it? Every morning when I wake up, I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to work. I don't feel good. But I know that once I get out of bed, I will feel better. But just laying there in the bed, I'm like, oh no, I could just lay here all day. No, I got out of bed. Yes. The show must go on, and I need to work. I cannot use any more sick days because, well, I mean, I have sick days, but I just don't want to use them. So isn't it Memorial Day coming up? Isn't that like soon? Because I think that's like an official holiday. We'll get a day off then from work. Oh boy. Oh boy. Do. What's going on? What's going on? I could just sit and diamond paint for 30 minutes and y'all could watch me. Or I could tell you about what national day is it. This is a good one. National Frog Jumping Day. Yes, could I have picked a better day? Probably, but not a more fun one. Like, you have got to tell me in the comments if you have ever participated in one of these events, because I would just love to know. Frog jumping. I have not. I don't touch frogs. No. Don't they cause warts? I think that's an old wives' tale. But I don't want to touch them. Ew, no. So, in Calaveras County, California, they have a frog jumping contest every year, except for last year because of COVID. They did not have it. But And the world record holder is a frog called Rosie the Ribbitter. Rosie the Ribbitter. I love that. Ribbit, get it? I know. That's not funny. Yeah, it is actually. So this is all came about from this Mark Twain short story called The Celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County. So now in Calaveras County, California, every year, except for last year, they have this frog jumping contest. And they have all these really strict rules, like you can't weigh the frog down with anything. You can't use illegal frogs. There's like a California red-legged frog. You cannot use that frog because it's an endangered species. So, yeah, if you were thinking of using that frog this year, no, you cannot do that. You must play soothing music to the frogs when they're in their pens. Yes, they can only jump a certain amount of times each day. There's very, very strict rules here. And then the prize is $750 for the longest jumping frog, or $5,000 if they can beat the Rosie the Ribbitter world record. And this is a contest that's held. They have it in Indiana, Ohio, Washington, Maine, Missouri, Louisiana, New York, Wisconsin, and not to be left out, Canada, Manitoba, Canada. So you Canadians can participate too. Yeah, not to be left out. I think I'm going to skip this event. How about that? I have no interest whatsoever in a frog jumping contest. None. None. Ew. Yeah, no frogs for me, please. Mm-mm. So, I got whoever's had. If you have been in one of these contests, I'm going to have you on the show because I need you to describe this for me. Like, what's it like? What's the atmosphere like? Do the frogs ever get loose? I'm sorry. This is just so silly. Like, I'm looking at this picture of this woman. She's trying to get her frog to, go faster or higher or whatever. I would think that if you put the frog down on the floor to jump, he's just going to run away. He's going to jump and he's just going to keep on jumping and never to be seen again. That's what I would think would happen, but maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. All right, I'm being silly. I know. Take these things seriously, right? No. Mm-mm. We could talk about judge, jury, and jury. Yes. So, we had more witnesses on yesterday. Let me see where we can start here. Try to think, where did I leave off yesterday? Oh, here we go. Okay. The first witness is Trevor Day. Now, this is a youngster. I'm going to say late teens. He's in the car with his girlfriend, Kimberly Wood, and another boy in the back seat. And they had been swimming in this lake. So the poor thing's like, the girl was soaking wet. She's like, I'm freezing, I'm wet, But they had gone to McDonald's. They'd smoked a little weed, gone to McDonald's. As they were, when they were in line at McDonald's, because it's nighttime, the kids, he turned his headlights off, because there was a car in front of him. So as he's pulling out of McDonald's, he forgets to put his headlights back on. So he's pulled over for a traffic stop by you-know-who, Deputy Wester. Yep, he's at it again. So they he comes up to their vehicle and he says, now Trevor is the one driving and it is his car. He says, yeah, you didn't have your lights on, or do you know why I pulled you over? And he says, yeah, I didn't have my lights on, but I turned them on, and sorry, I forgot. And he's trying to explain, and he's like, well, I smell marijuana here. So, and he says, well, we were smoking marijuana here in the car a couple of days ago. Clearly lying, but yeah. So he says, there are some roaches here in the car. So he's asked to get out of the vehicle, step out of the vehicle. And now we get to watch the body camera. But I'm trying to think. Yeah, there is footage of the defendant's body camera and the backup officer's body camera, because we don't see the search conducted on the body camera of the defendant. We see some of, like, it's intermittent. So you're not getting a full video. And not because it was chopped up by the court, because that happens sometimes. They'll only show portions. It's because his camera was he was turning it on and off, apparently. Um, so he asked permission, or he's like, I have probable cause now to search your vehicle. So he asked them all to step out and step over to the side of his patrol car, because he says, I don't want you guys to get hit by a car and, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, step over to this side. And by now there's a backup officer there. And the girl that's in the car, Kimberly Wood, who's Trevor's girlfriend, she says to the officer, to the defendant, she's like, listen, there is some leftover marijuana. It's in the ashtray. And he's like, thank you for being forthcoming with me, blah, blah, blah. So he goes to search the vehicle, and he did keep going back and forth. This is his MO. He goes back to his patrol car, then back to the vehicle to continue his search, and then back to his patrol car. He does this a few times in all of the cases. Then anyway, he comes back to them and tells them they're going to be arrested, and he puts Trevor and his girlfriend in handcuffs, but not the guy that was in the back seat. Now, I'm not sure why that is, but, okay. Doesn't tell them why. Then he goes back to the car to continue his search. And you even hear one of the Trevor, or one of the kids on the scene, say, what? I don't know what he went back there to get. Like when he went back to his car, his patrol car. Like what is he doing? Because it's confusing to everyone apparently. Boy, my lighting is not good today, huh? I'm having a hard time. Lots of shine on this canvas. So then he comes back and he says, I found this little baggie. Surprise, surprise, another little baggie on the passenger floorboard. And Trevor says, no, there's no way. No, there's no way you found that in my car. No, And he says, I've never done meth. I don't know what meth looks like. I've never. And he says, well, maybe it was your girlfriend's. And he's like, no, I mean, we just cleaned out this car earlier today. No, there's no way. That is not ours. So he does explain that he's only had this vehicle for a month. His mother gave him the car. His mother, years ago, used to be a meth addict. So the officer goes back to search the trunk of the car and finds fingernail clippers, a fingernail clipper case. Now, I don't do drugs, so I have no idea what this has to do with meth. I don't know. Maybe this is where you store your meth. I don't know, but he tested it, and it also was presumptive positive for, residue, I guess, of methamphetamine. So so the kid goes to jail, and so does the girl. But now the third person does not go to jail. Oh, he lets the third guy. He's like, "Do you have a driver's license? Maybe you would like to drive your friend's car home." That way we don't have to tell. He's always making himself look like the good guy here. I don't want to have him incur a tow bill. Why don't you drive their car home? And that way I'm going to take these guys to jail. And I don't know, sickening. Um, so he takes he goes to court, and on the advice of his attorney, he takes the plea agreement, which is 6 months to a year of pretrial intervention, which is basically probation. And he says, I just thought that if I fought this and I lost, I would go to jail. And I just thought, that it was his word, my word against the officers. So I took the plea. And then on cross-examination, it came out that, yes, he does have a civil suit pending against the sheriff's department for this event. And when asked why that was, he says, because, the guy was trying to ruin my life. Lo and behold. Yeah. Yes, he was. So now we put on the stand the girlfriend. Now, she just kind of confirms everything that we just heard through her ex-boyfriend's testimony. They're no longer together. She says, none of us smoked meth. We've never seen meth. We don't even know what it looks like, She, too, on the advice of her attorney, took pretrial intervention. And both of these people, eventually their charges were dropped. They did not have to go through the probation. But she also has a pending civil suit. Yeah. Then we have, they put on Deputy Tartar. Tartar? Yeah, Tartar. He was one of the backup deputies. He was the backup deputy for this traffic stop of Trevor and his girlfriend. And he testifies that his body cam was activated for the entirety of the traffic stop because that's the policy. So I think they just put him on to reinforce that, hey, your body camera is on the entirety of this traffic stop, but the other guy's isn't. And then on cross, he says, no, I never saw the defendant place any meth into the vehicle. He never saw that. Well, I don't think he was looking for that. He was standing there talking to 3 teenagers, one of whom, the one that didn't go to jail, his father was a police officer. I don't know if they knew that. It's a small town. They kind of know everybody. Anyway, he doesn't go to jail. The next person is Richard Driggers. Also another traffic stop. He's returning home from work. He gets pulled over for a broken headlight. And he tells the defendant, yeah, I know that it's broken. Every time it rains, it breaks again, and I just haven't had the money to fix it. He says, I replaced the bulb, and it rains, and then it breaks again. So he says, can you step out of the vehicle? And also, he says, I smell the odor of pot in your car. So apparently this is his MO. I smell the odor of pot in your car. And the guy says, yeah, I was smoking pot about a month ago, and there's probably a container in here with some residue in it, but there's no pot in the car. So he steps out of the vehicle. The usual thing, the backup cop comes. He tells him to go stand over by the backup cop. He does his usual search, the defendant, and he comes back with a needle wrapped in foil, a pre-filled, or what do they call it? A loaded needle. And he tells the guy, you know what that means, a loaded needle? And he goes, yeah, I know what that means. He goes, that is not mine. Um, and a little glass vial. So, of course, he tests it. It's presumptive positive for methamphetamine. He checks the guy's arm. There's no track marks. And the guy says, listen, I've never even been arrested in my life. I don't do meth. That is not mine. Um, and this was a sad one. You know, this guy he's got his little dog with him in the car, and he was returning home from work. Now, I don't know if he took his dog to work or I don't know, but he had his little dog with him, and he of course he's arrested, um, and he tells the guy, the defendant says, is there someone that can come pick up your car and your dog? That way you don't have a tow bill, and I don't have to call animal control to come get your dog. And we'll wait for whoever it is. So whoever it was that the guy called, he's like, this is the only person I know that I can call. He's not going to believe me either, that this wasn't mine, but I'm telling you it wasn't mine. But anyway, he says, uh, he can't come for a couple of hours. Well, of course, the defendant says, we can't wait a couple of hours. So what they give him like 5 minutes to sort it out. He can't get it sorted out. So they have his vehicle towed, and they have the dog taken by animal control. And he tells them, they're not going to put your dog down. They're going to put a hold on your dog, and you'll just have to get him out later. And he's like, I can't afford that. He's like, I live on a budget. But so it was really sad. It really, really was sad. And during this video, the backup officer, he was chewing tobacco and he kept spitting, and it was so disgusting. This was one of those videos where there was no body cam footage from the defendant. Nope. Once again, he doesn't film this traffic stop. But we do see the body cam footage for the backup officer. And we hear that spitting every couple of 30, 40 seconds, you would hear this spit, and I would just cringe. It was so disgusting. Anyway, he also took a plea to pretrial intervention probation because he didn't think anyone would believe him, and it was his word against the cops. He also has a civil suit pending. So that is where I left off on day one. There's a little bit of day one left. I'm not gonna lie, because I had to go to physical therapy. I had a horrible headache. I had lots of excuses. I had them, but I just did not get back to watch the rest of day one. So I will cover that. I'll watch that today. We'll get into day two. Or was this day two? Oh my God. Okay, no, this was day two. I'm sorry. I did not finish day two. So tomorrow you'll hear the rest of day two, and we'll get into day three. I suspect it's going to be more of the same. I did look up the definition of racketeering. So racketeering is when this person or a person or an organization, is usually organized crime. They have a scheme. Now we're starting to see the scheme here. But it's usually for some type of monetary gain. It's where they put someone in peril and they kind of rescue them, or they, and I don't see the rescue here. He's taking them to jail, but he's planting drugs in their vehicle, allegedly. I haven't seen him do it. I know that he goes back and forth to his vehicle, but I don't know. I don't know how. First of all, I don't know how we're going to. And we know that he turns the camera off, or that his camera is not functioning properly. So it doesn't work right all the time, apparently. And so he's violating that policy. But how do we know that he is actually planting these drugs in this vehicle? And what is the motive on his part? What is the gain? What is the financial gain to him for him to do this? I mean, what is the benefit that he is getting for this kind of conduct? That is the confusing part to me. Like, why are you doing this? It's just the oddest thing I've ever heard. Um, so that is it for Judge, Jury, and Journey. Now, before I do the next segment, I do want to mention that we are taking signups for two different events. The Mystery Diamond Painting. Both of these Google Forms are in the Crafting Journey Facebook group. If you would like to participate in a Mystery Diamond Painting event, go to the Crafting Journey Facebook group, sign up on the form, and the signups will end the end of May. Once they end, I will match people up. I'll let you know who you're matched up with. Then you guys get together, figure out where you want to order from, how much you want to spend, and we are not doing the black and white catered type mystery painting. This is a true mystery painting event where you order from a company of your choosing. You have the canvas covered in some way when it gets to you. If it's not already a mystery, and for example, Ever Moment, if you order from the Ever Moment official store on AliExpress and tell them it's a mystery, they will take the thumbnail off the canvas and they will, the image off the canvas, and they will take the image off of the inventory sheet. So that's what I'm talking about. But if you order from a company where you've got like a plastic cover instead of a double-sided adhesive, get someone in your family to open that up and cover it for you so that you don't see it. And then it's truly a mystery. And we anticipate the start date for that. You'll be ordering the paintings in June. The anticipated start date will be July, mid-July. And then the second thing I wanted to tell you guys about, or just reinforce, is we are also doing the Crafters 90-Day Step Challenge. Now, the Google form for that is also in the Crafting Journey Facebook group. We've got about close to 40 people signed up. I'm so thrilled that everybody wants to get healthy again after COVID. I watched Tia last night. She said, let's just get back to the basics. Yes, I agree. So find a way to count your steps. You can do it on a phone, through some kind of a watch app, Fitbit, or just buy a cheap pedometer. So what you'll do is you'll record your steps. You will send that to your team captain. And what you're being judged on, or the competition, is how many steps more did you get today than you did yesterday. It's not, who got 10,000 steps. It's who's making improvement each day. That's what we're looking for. We want everyone to get healthier. We've all sat around during COVID and just enjoyed eating what we wanted and doing nothing and working in our pajamas. And it's time to get back to real life. I've been going back to work and it is tough. It is so tough. I am just not conditioned to getting up every morning, putting on real clothes, going to work, finding a place to park, walking into the building. By the end of the day, I'm exhausted. But I just got to get my body used to this again. So, okay, that's the advertisement portion of the show. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing you all on the Mystery Diamond Painting and the challenge, the Crafters 90-Day Step Challenge, which will run through June, July, and August. Okay, now, this day in history. Do. I have to do the do. I don't know. Tia and Crystal were talking about this challenge last night in Tia's live, and they didn't do the do. That's okay. All right, where is this day in history? Okay. No, not the frog jumping contest. We've already covered that. Pope John Paul II, I believe. Yes, John Paul II is shot. What? This is May 13th, 1981. He is shot and seriously wounded, passing through an open square, St. Peter's Square. The assailant, 23-year-old escaped Turkish murderer Mehmet Ali Akka. Mehmet Ali Akka. Yeah, whatever. He fires 4 shots. Now, one hits the Pope in the abdomen. It doesn't hit any serious organs, but he still undergoes 5 hours worth of surgery. He strikes this 60-year-old American woman in the chest, seriously injuring her. The Pope is also hit by another bullet in his hand, I believe. And the 4th bullet hits a 20-year-old Jamaican woman in the arm. So the bystanders knock the weapon away from Mehmet, and he's detained and he goes to jail. Now, he had been in jail before for these murders and he escaped. He escaped. Oh my God. And, you know, there was several different theories of motives because all of them plausible, but it just kind of changes. As this guy's sitting in jail, he kind of changes his motive. No, this is why I did it. And then finally, you know, the second motive was this anti-communism sort of motive. And they put these people on trial and then when they bring him in to testify against these people, he's like, no, I'm Jesus Christ. It ruins their whole trial. The guys get away with whatever it was they were charged with. And this guy was so weird. But he did he is still in jail. He's sentenced to life in prison. The Pope kept saying, you know, I forgive the guy, please commute his sentence. I forgive him. So eventually they do. They commute his sentence for the shooting. And, but he's still in jail for the murder that he committed, where he escaped from prison. So he doesn't get out of jail. He just gets his sentence for shooting the Pope commuted because the Pope forgave him. Oh my goodness. The power of forgiveness. Yes. Oh, I don't want to go to work. I just want to sit and chit chat and diamond paint. Is that so wrong? Anyway, guys, what day is this? It's Thursday. It's almost Friday. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Have a great rest of your day. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow in the morning show. Leave me a comment. You know I love the comments, and the comments help the algorithm, help people to find me on YouTube. The more watchers, the longer, you know, the more you guys benefit. So leave me a comment. Have you ever been in a frog jumping contest? And if so, how'd you do? Did you win? What was your frog's name? And if you were going to be in a frog's jumping contest, what would you name your frog? Mine would be Absalom. Yeah, the caterpillar. Alice in Wonderland caterpillar. Absalom. Love you. Have a great day.